Happy New Year everyone, I'm Ollie Rodriguez Dom and I hope you're doing well, I hope you had a good New Year's Eve and I hope you're ready for 2024. And speaking of which, I'm going to go back to 2023 already. In one of my kind of last few videos of the year in 2023, I basically mentioned that I wanted to do my Spotify Wrapped, and that's what I'm going to do today, even though it's about 2 months too late and no one probably really cares too much right now, but I just wanted to share it and it's something that I can look back on in this November. This is a little less vinyl related, but hey, it's still music and some of you might be interested in. I'm definitely interested to hear about some of your Spotify Wrapped. What was your most listened to song, listened to artist, your top 5, any of the stats I'm about to go through? Let me know what yours were. Now the first stat we're going to go through is the amount of genres I listen to, and apparently I've listened to 41, which to me doesn't really make a lot of sense if I'm honest. By now on the channel you should know I'm very rap heavy focused. However, this year, or 2023, I was very much getting into listening to a lot more stuff outside of the genre. There's quite a lot of 80s stuff I got into because I think of the weekends like Dawn FM, even though I think that came out in 2022. Ever since then, I've really started to try and like listen to more 80s stuff. So I feel like that's where it slipped in. But the fact I've reached 41 kind of surprises me. Maybe it's because I went to the gym and was listening to a lot more heavy metal when I was doing that. And looking at my genre sandwich or whatever this thing is, it's definitely saying that my highest one is rap. Then it actually goes into pop, and then it goes into hip hop, and then it goes underground hip hop, and then it goes indie pop rap. So I'm guessing a lot of the genres are built up by a lot of sub-genres of music I've listened to, which feels a bit like cheating, but hey, apparently I listened to 41 different genres this year. And in 2023, I apparently listened to 2,108 songs, which is weird to think about how many songs I've actually listened to, because in my head I'm like, that sounds like a lot, but also in my head I'm like, I feel like there should be more. So whether that's a good number, I don't really know. Okay, Spotify, tell me what was the one I really connected to. You know what, I'll agree with that. I really did love the song Lightsabers by Logic, which features C. Castro. Lightsabers is a song I really loved and I just really enjoyed the vibe of it. And one of my favourite songs Logic has ever done was 5 Hooks, and I got a lot of that in the first half of this song. And I love the beat change in this song. And I also really love C. Castro's side of this song as well. Like, I really like the transition from going kind of like back in time to where C. was actually trying to make it and kind of getting his perspective on things rather than just Logic, which I feel like is kind of like one of the best parts about College Park. And honestly, I feel like C. Castro might have stole the spotlight within that song personally. Apparently I started listening to that song on the 24th of February, and apparently I've listened to it 60 times this year, so not bad. Honestly, I'll probably agree, not just from like a stats level of like you listen to this song this much, so it must have been your favorite. I would definitely say if there was like a category of songs that I had to like guess or like rank that were my favorite, that song would definitely feature in there for 2023. Okay, so the amount of minutes listened, I was expecting a lot more this year. In 2022, I remember sort of thinking, I think I got like only like 14,000 minutes listened to. But this year I've got 30,345 minutes listened to. So there's definitely been an increase. However, in 2023, I definitely felt like I listened to way more than that. And I think like a high reason for that is because I then learned to drive and actually passed my driving test, which then led to me getting a car. And honestly, that's probably been my favorite bit of driving, being able to listen to music on the road and just cruising and listening to music and vibing. Like genuinely, I thought that would have pushed it up a lot higher than that amount of minutes is. So total 30,300 plus minutes basically equates to about 21 days. What was I doing on the 14th of March? Because apparently that's when I peaked. On that day I had 519 minutes and I apparently was in the top 11% of listeners worldwide. What the hell happened on March 14th? We'll never know. Damn, I listened to 1,140 artists this year, but one came out on top. Who would it be? Take your guesses now. I've already seen it, but even before I saw it, I could guess who it was going to be, and that is the one and only Logic. Apparently I'm the top 0.05% fan, and I spent 4,332 minutes listening to Logic. Alright, so now we're going to go through the months of who is my favourite artist each month apparently. So in April, that was when my peak for Logic was apparently. Then in March, it was Drake. This is it. So I was remembering that there was someone who was like, he's got to be in like the top 5, which he does end up being, a spoiler. But I genuinely thought he would take the #1 spot. And it's my #1 most listened to artist in September. So coming in at number 3, which is Nas. And that's surprising. I do, so for the most of the year, I didn't listen to a lot of Eminem. In November, I kind of feel like I got a bit more nostalgic over listening to him, so I did come back and listen to him, but I didn't think it was enough to actually make him like my top listened to artist in November. And then number 5 was Jack Harlow. Now that doesn't surprise me for me, because I feel like that was kind of the time period where I kind of was like getting back into music again and finding my passion for it a lot more. And I cannot remember the name of the album right now or his mixtape, but that project was like a really important one for me to like kind of get myself back into music. I really enjoyed how like quick the songs were. The songs were all really good. They left you wanting more from Jack Harlow, and that actually became one of my inspirations for my project, Summertime High. And if Jack Harlow hadn't dropped that, I wouldn't have really found the inspiration to really come back into doing rap myself and getting a project out there. Not saying that I didn't want to make any more music anymore. I was just kind of in a bit more of a rut about it, and then this album dropped and it really made me want to come back to it. So I have basically just gone through them, but my top artists for the year, starting with number 1 was Logic, number 2 Drake, number 3 Nas, number 4 Eminem, number 5 Jack Harlow. Got my message from Logic as well, but you can literally just go through Spotify and see like a lot of them. Apparently I'm a great listener. Oh, because of podcasts. I'm into wrestling, alright, and my top wrestling podcast is Fight for Wrestling. Then my second was Insights with Chris Van Vliet. He does a lot of wrestling interviews on his podcast, so kind of another wrestling thing there. Then number 3, I've got Wrestle Talk podcast. Then I have the Creator Club as number 4, and then number 5 is the Creator Project. Those are 2 like marketing, social media podcasts sort of stuff. I was kind of, especially with my new job, I wanted to kind of learn more, kind of try and stay updated a lot. Oh, and apparently I spent 4,028 minutes on podcasts as well. Right, so apparently when it comes to music, I'm a Cyclops because I'm loyal and devoted. I like to focus on one genre, sometimes while wearing a monocle. And then also my top songs, which is something I didn't actually really get to speak about. So number 1 is Lightsabers by Logic. Then we have They Don't Love It by Jack Harlow. Then we have Circo Loco by Drake and 21 Savage. 4 is Common Ground by Jack Harlow. And then we have Shimmy by Logic. Like if I were going to say like my favourite songs in 2023, Return of the Mac would have been in that list. So I could have imagined that song actually appearing a lot more or getting some mentions. But in terms of those 5 songs, yeah, I understand how they got in there, but I wouldn't necessarily say they were like my favourite, but facts and statistics would disagree with that. I'm pretty sure from what I understand, like the actual like playlist they make for you on Spotify, focus, it's not going to focus, but pretty sure this playlist, it actually goes ranking from 1 all the way down to 100. I won't go through my top 100, but I'll go through the extra 5 for the top 10. So obviously we got up to Shimmy with Logic, but then we had Infinite by Eminem. Number 7 we have Don't Matter to Me with Drake and Michael Jackson. Number 8 is That Alright by Jack Harlow, which doesn't stand out as a song. I think it was just because of how much I was listening to the mixtape. Number 9 is Five Hooks by Logic, and during summer that tends to be one of the songs I listen to a lot, so that was definitely raised by summer. Then a song that I kind of like, I was aware of in the past and probably came across it and listened to it, but I never caught the name of it. But I found this again kind of like a few months into starting my job, and that's Got to Have It by Method Man. And so this actually made it to the top 10 spot actually. So this was like a new song I discovered this year, and that song I would say actually does deserve to be in my top 5 if I were picking favorites. And then honorable mention to number 11, which is On the Radar freestyle by Drake and Central C. I found that freestyle really catchy and I really enjoyed just like listening to it. So actually when I think about it, I think Drake probably creeped up a lot more into being my number 2 just because of that song. Because that was almost like the song I would start my driving playlist to. So now I think about it, that makes a lot of sense. So that was my Spotify Wrapped 2 months later for 2023. I hope you kind of got like some insight about maybe me, my music taste, and what I kind of like listening to. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like and subscribe. Also, please do comment down below like what your Spotify Wrapped looked like in 2023. But for now, I've been Ollie Rodriguez Dolman. Take care and have a wonderful day. Later.